Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a horror thriller film called 12 Feet Deep from 2017. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. At a public swimming pool, manager McGrady puts up a sign saying that it will be closed for the holiday weekend. Meanwhile, the protagonist Bree, swimming in the pool, takes a break to check her blood glucose level and takes off her diamond ring before returning to the pool. Outside in the parking lot, her sister Yana sits in the car, not knowing whether or not to enter the pool. After a short thought, she leaves her phone in the glove compartment, goes inside, puts on her swimsuit, and walks over to her sister. Bree is happy to see her because they haven't seen each other for a long time. Jonna has been in rehab, but has been doing well for 3 months now. After a short conversation, Jonna joins Bree in the pool. At the Lost and Found, Clara, the cleaner, is trying to steal money from forgotten wallets. At this time, McGrady comes in and catches her in the act. He tells her that he regrets speaking well of her to the parole officer, and that when she finishes her work today, she will be free and will no longer work here. Swimming together, the sisters have a good day until McGrady shows up. He asks them to leave because the pool is closing. Jonna points out that the pool is open until 7, but McGrady explains that it closes earlier on holidays and mentions that some people should learn to read, to which Jonna takes offense. After leaving the pool, they dry off, and Bree decides to show Jonna her ring, but can't find it in her bag. Jonna looks around the pool and sees that the ring is stuck in a metal grate at the bottom of the pool. Bree dives back in to retrieve it. No matter how hard she tries, she can't get the ring out of the grate, so Jonna decides to jump in to help her as well. When both girls are underwater and the rest of the visitors have left, the McGrady begin to close the pool. Suddenly, Jonna's hair is sucked into the grate. Trying to free themselves, the girls don't notice the lid closing over the pool. They try to swim out, but it's too late. They are trapped. Frightened, the sisters begin to bang on the lid and call for help, but McGrady has already left the building, and Jonna thinks he did it on purpose. After a moment of excitement, they decide to try to lift the lid to see how strong it is, but of course it doesn't give in. Next, Bree suggests checking all the connections to find a weak spot. Looking around, Jonna finds someone's swimming trunks and condensation holes in the lid, and Bree manages to remove a plastic cover from one of the holes in the wall. She breaks it in half and tries to widen the hole in the lid, and Jonna continues to make negative and sarcastic comments, especially when Bree tells him that she married her boyfriend David. Bree says that it's not her fault, to which Jonna reminds Bree that she had a hard time in rehab and it got worse when she came back and didn't find her sister at home. This leads Bree to the conclusion that it was her sister who threw the ring into the water. Furious, she swims to the bottom of the pool and tries to retrieve the ring again, and this time she succeeds. Bree swims up and sees that Jonna is trying to punch a hole in the lid with a piece of glass and has hurt his hand. She tells her that she can try to break the glass with the grate, but she is not strong enough to reach it. She asks Jonna for help, but she doesn't agree because she thinks it's pointless. Suddenly, they hear a melody. David calls Bree's phone, which gives Bree hope that he will soon notice that she is missing. Bree dives again and tries unsuccessfully to pry off the grate. As night falls, Jonna continues to look for a weakness. After an argument about David calling again, Jonna notices that something is wrong with his sister and asks her. Bree confesses that she was diagnosed with diabetes 3 years ago and needs an injection that she left in her bag. If she doesn't get it soon, she could fall into a coma. When Clara returns to the building to finish her shift, Bree and Jonna take turns trying to cut holes in the roof. Jonna notices the burn marks on Bree's arm and says that they have never discussed it, but they should because her doctor at the rehab center said so. She wants to know what really happened on the day their father died, because she doesn't remember anything and only knows the bits and pieces her mother and Bree have told her over the years. Bree calls her father a monster and tells Jonna that he came home drunk that night, smoked a cigarette, passed out, fell on his pillow, and caught fire. He didn't scream because he was so drunk that he didn't even realize he was burning alive. Bree got burns on her hand when she tried to wake him up. Their conversation is suddenly interrupted by Clara. She hears Bree's phone ringing again and comes closer to steal it. The girls call for help, and Clara asks them how they got there, while she goes through Bree's wallet. She stops when she notices the surveillance cameras. After asking the girls to wait a bit, she goes to the control room to turn off the cameras, then goes to the pool and asks the sisters some strange questions and asks for the password to the phone. Bree gives it to her, thinking she'll call the police, but instead, Clara teases her with photos and plays them David's voicemails. Jonna loses his patience and begins to insult her. Cutting to the chase, Clara explains that she has a lot of bills to pay because she can't find a good job after being imprisoned. If the sisters want her to save them, Bree has to give her the PIN number of her bank card. The sisters don't agree at first, but Clara turns off the heater and threatens them with a cold night. So Bree has no choice but to give her what she wants. Clara leaves, taking her purse, and the sisters huddle together to keep warm. After a few hours, Bree starts to really suffer from the cold, so Jonna decides it's her turn to try to take the lid off. but fear prevents her from even getting close to it. When she emerges, she notices that Bree has fallen asleep and rushes to wake her up. She confesses that she didn't even swim to the grate because she was scared. After that, Yana tries again to make a hole in the lid with the shard, but Bree considers it a waste of time and energy. Yana replies that she needs to move. It's the only way to stay warm. Bree pushes her to talk about her suicide attempt, and Yana explains that she feels like there are monsters inside her that are eating her. Her father used to hurt them, and his voice can't get out of Jana's head. Suddenly, an eye appears in the hole, which frightens the sisters. It's Clara. She complains that Bree has only $80 in her bank account. The sisters ask her for help, and she gets angry, saying that they are not special and that she has problems too, and then leaves the room to collect her thoughts. Then Yana gets an idea and starts grinding a plastic piece against the wall. When Clara returns, Yana pretends to cry, apologizes, and wants to confess something. She intends to speak very quietly, so Clara puts her ear to the hole to hear her better, and Yana stabs her with the piece. In a rage, Clara goes to the mirror to check her wound and then goes to the control room to turn on the automatic pool cleaning system. As a result, the girls begin to suffocate from the chlorine. They try to block the nozzles with their hands and the swimming trunks they found earlier, but the flow is too strong. Bree loses consciousness for a few seconds, and Yana tries to save her from drowning. Clara realized the danger of her actions, so she took pity on them and returned to the control room to turn off the cleaning system. When she returns, she tells her sisters that she is now in control and demands that Bree give her the ring in exchange for their freedom. Yana begs her not to, but Bree agrees, realizing that they have no other choice. After receiving the ring, Clara leaves the room, saying she will let them out when she is ready. Wanting some privacy, Bree swims to the other side of the pool and falls asleep on the floats. She dreams that David has brought firefighters with him to rescue her. When she wakes up, she sees Yana with a piece of plastic near her ears, thinking about the end. Bree talks her out of it and promises to be there when it's over. Yana apologizes and hugs her. Meanwhile, Clara looks at the ring and listens to David's message, trying to make a decision. When she returns to the pool, Bree asks Yana to repeat after her. The girls tell Clara that they know she is not the monster, and after much thought, they have decided that from now on, they will change their lives a little. Clara sympathizes with them and finally agrees to help, but when she goes to the control room and enters the code, it doesn't work. She tells the girls about it, and they ask her to call the police, but Clara is afraid of going to jail again. She puts Bree's bag on a bench and leaves the building. A few more hours pass, and Bree becomes very weak. Yana dives in and tries to pull the bars again. The first two attempts were unsuccessful, but she has an idea for the third. She grabs the swim trunks they found earlier, wraps them around the grate, and manages to pull the grate out. Yana pulls her to the surface and notices that Bree is unconscious. After performing CPR on her, she beats on the lid and finally manages to break it. When she pulls Bree out of the pool, they both suffer cuts from the sharp edges of the fiberglass. Her sister is still unconscious, so Jonah brings her bag and looks for an insulin syringe. She gives Bree an injection, and she finally wakes up. Their happiness does not last long, however, as Clara suddenly appears in front of them and points a gun at them, afraid that the girls might tell the police about her. Jonah tells her that he understands that she has lost a lot and begs her not to do anything to Bree, because this is all she has left in her life. Clara eventually puts the gun away and returns the ring. Jonah grabs Bree's phone, calls the police, and asks Clara to leave before they arrive. After that, Bree wakes up on a stretcher, surrounded by medical workers and her sister. Jonah gives her the ring back, and when Bree asks how she got it, Jonah replies that they killed a monster. The sisters embrace and the medics take them away. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I'm happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. OLEJA Recapped was with you. See you soon.